I'm Katie Wells, host of the Maximized Minimalist podcast. I escaped the hamster wheel of modern-day motherhood, overwhelmed by clutter and buried under the mental load. Now I live in a home that feels calm, manageable, and made for real life. I have margin in my days, energy for who matters most, and time for slow mornings and silly dance parties in the kitchen with my family. With over 5 million listens, the show has helped women around the world turn their homes into their happy place. Around here, we simplify for more peace, more presence, and more joy. We choose grace over guilt and progress over perfection. And we believe your home should give back more than it takes. I'm here to help you do the same. Come along with me and my guests as we share the real stories, habits, and strategies that help you lighten the load from the inside out. Pull up a seat, friend, and let's do this together. Ready, set, simplify. Hey friend, if your home has started behaving like a runaway train this month, piling up like all the things, consider this episode your chance to gently tap the brakes. So a few weeks back, I was talking to a client and she's in the season. She's got 3 kids under 10. So she's like school concerts, like holiday snack trays, volunteering at school, sports tournaments. Like she's getting all these gifts that are incoming. She's accumulating for the holidays and has this ongoing migration of surface area piles happening in her house right now. And she messaged me and she's like, Katie, I came in from Target and I just dropped the bags on the floor and I stared at my kitchen. And she's like, everything felt so loud. Like my house was screaming at me. She's like, the counters felt loud. The entryway table was loud. Like my kitchen island felt like it was just overflowing. The piles of papers. And she's like, everything has just stacked up these last few weeks because I'm busier than normal. And now I'm overwhelmed. And I was so glad she reached out because after working together for the last few months, I know her pattern pretty well. It also used to be my pattern. And it is a common pattern so many of us have. And that is when the mess creeps back in, she doesn't just see objective stuff, right? She sees moral failure. She's like, what's the point? I worked so hard last week, or yesterday, or whatever, 2 weeks ago, the counters were clear. I failed. It's back. It always comes back. I'm not good at this. I wish I could just be more motivated. I wish I could just be more organized. And speaking of runaway train, sometimes our thoughts are like a runaway train. And like, have you ever had that? Like, I know I certainly have. And I just want to tell you, this isn't failure. It's just noise and it can be turned down, just like I told her. So I asked her something that changed everything for me many years ago when I was literally same thing. I came in my home, I looked around at my countertops and I was like snapping at my kids. And then again, instead of going down that spiral, I was like, hold on, Katie, is this normal expected mess or is this clutter? Because here's what no one tells you. They're not the same thing. And treating them the same is what keeps us stuck in shame. So many of us, and gosh, I probably have 30 to 40 podcast interviews, lined up related to the book launch. My new book is out, available for pre-order. And most of them are women interviewing me. A lot of them are moms. And 99% of them ask me this one question. Katie, can you help me because I declutter my countertops, right? I put all the stuff back. I clean everything off. It feels good for like 20 minutes. And then the clutter comes back and it's so defeating, right? This is exactly what I'm talking about. Mess and clutter, or expected mess, as we call it here, is not the same thing as clutter. Mess is expected. That's why I named it that. It helps my brain and our brains understand this is a cyclical thing. This is a normal byproduct of being a living human being. And it's evidence that people actually live in your house. I know it's annoying sometimes. Trust me. I don't like dishes after dinner all the time. I don't like water bottles on the countertops all the time. I think if a lot of us could make the call, we'd be like, no, I want my house to look like a museum. But that's certainly not so many of our realities. We have people, we have us. I make a mess, right? Plus the Amazon boxes a lot of us have coming in for holiday shopping. Like all these things kind of quietly stack up on the countertops. And when we tip into mental overwhelm from the expected mess, we kind of just see like failure, right? When really it's just Tuesday. Clutter is different. Clutter is the stuff that's no longer actively supporting or serving you or your family. the broken blender, the jeans from 2019, the gift bags you're saving just in case, right? And when I just reminded my client of that distinction, her shoulders dropped like 3 inches. And she was like, oh, okay. I'm not behind. I'm not broken. I just have a pile of expected December mess, and I need to stop treating it like a character flaw. So I gave her one assignment, and that is this 10-minute reset we're going to be talking about. It's not organizing. It's not deep cleaning. It's not a marathon declutter session or a 10-minute declutter session. It is just returning things where they belong. Surface areas only, what you can actually see. Why? Because when we put expected mess back where it belongs, the drawers, the cabinets, the bins, the wherever it's going, off the surface areas, it is an instant facelift to our house. Instant facelift, instant visual boost, instant mental boost, right? This is why you can clear a counter for 5 minutes. There might still be more to do at the end of that 5 minutes. That's okay, or 10 minutes. That little area you've just cleared lets your brain breathe. Literally, it brings your stress hormone, your cortisol down. Why? At the end of the day, it's because of how we're wired. Our brains crave order. This is why none of us feel great in a quote unquote messy or quote unquote cluttered home, because it's chaos for our brains. So remember that at the end of the day, it doesn't have to look perfect to be worth doing, right? Even if you can't do 10 minutes, do 2, right? We always say that in our Clutter Cure Club community. If you can't do 10, do 5. If you can't do 5, do 2. If you can't do 2, do 30 seconds. So surface areas only, countertops, all the places that my client talked about, anything that's happening in those areas of your home right now, start putting things back. So again, she didn't finish in that 10 minutes, but here's what she messaged me later. She said, oh my gosh, Katie, I can think again and I feel so much less overwhelmed. She's like, yes, I still have more to go. But it also helped remind me and bring more objectivity into it that I am not broken. I don't need to be more organized. This is a normal thing. And it stopped that mental spiral. And she said, honestly, that was so helpful and just what I needed. She goes, because had I not done that, I would have let the mess continue to build, because I would stay in that pattern of what's the point? What's the point, right? The mess is just going to come back and I stink at this. And that's what I want to talk to you today with these 10-minute resets. Think about it like creating this visual islands of calm for your brain, body, and nervous system. Again, at the end of the day, this is your brain feeling safe. And researchers from UCLA and Princeton found that visible clutter increases cortisol, right? And overwhelms our working memory, which is why even manageable mess or expected mess can also feel very mentally loud to us. So when we create that visual clarity by removing things off the surface areas and putting things back where they go, even in just one small zone, your brain receives a safety signal like, hey girl, we're not drowning, we're capable, we have our life preserver on, and we can slow this down or pump on the brakes on the runaway train. This is why these 10-minute resets work so well. Not because it finishes the job, because it helps your nervous system land and take you out of that mental spiral a lot of us experience. So what happens in a reset? Only 2 things. That's it. It's so simple, y'all. It's so simple. Reset what belongs and return items to their homes. This is the heart of a reset. It's putting your space back to its baseline tidiness level. So you're sending things back to where they live. Shoes instead of on the floor, which by the way is a surface area. Let me remind all of us, floors are surface areas. So if you have, pet toys, shoes, things on the floor, maybe just start there, right? So we don't trip on another Lego or have an owie. Okay. Shoes into the cubbies, cups to the sink, mail to its bins. You get the idea. Toys back to wherever they live, coats onto hooks, all that. We're simply putting expected everyday mess back. So because surface clutter is what your brain notices first, it's kind of like this visual dashboard your nervous system uses to determine whether your environment is helping or hindering your state of mind, right? This is why I geek out over this stuff, y'all. And I know why you love it too. Or maybe you hate it. That's okay. We're almost done. And even when one counter is clear, your mind can go, okay, deep breath and start to relax, which is literally, how funny is that? It's exactly what my client said. Oh my gosh, I feel like I can think. I feel like I can breathe again. That's exactly how we tap the brakes on the runaway train, girl. All right. And then number 2, if it applies, you can declutter a little bit as you are doing your reset. maybe 90% of it, or of the 10 minutes, 9 minutes out of the 10, you spend putting stuff away. But the reality is that you will likely come across some clutter. Extra packaging, gift bags, whatever, forms, receipts, holiday extras that linger in piles maybe you don't need anymore, cardboard boxes, which are basically they're like the unofficial mascot of December, right? And here's the key. It's not the contents that overwhelm you. It's the bulk. It's the visibility and the mental reminder of, I haven't dealt with this, right? If you think about all the expected mess even and why it can feel overwhelming, it's because your brain sees it as an open task. It's like, right? So in a reset, again, it's not about necessarily finishing, although if you can, great. It's shrinking it. Break down the box. Break down those boxes, girl. Just do it. You're going to feel better. Go grab your scissors. Go do it. Pull the gifts out. Hide it somewhere else. I tend to triage once or twice a week as needed. As little things come into my home, I'm going to give out for holiday gifts later. I don't want stuff sitting in boxes because I am that person that gets overwhelmed. If there's like 4 or 5 boxes creeping in, first of all, then I'm like, now, how am I going to hide all this? But when you take it out of the packaging, I just hide it in a big Tupperware bin in my garage. Of course, you know your kids best. If they're going to snoop, you got to do what you need to do. But it just helps my mind in this time of year. Combining bags, whatever, drop the kind of, I don't need this items in your donation station. Maybe make it a goal. Put one donation run on your schedule for this month before the holidays. Like that alone is going to help reset, not your physical space, but your mental space, right? Don't underestimate the emotional payoff of just doing these few things. Even if it's just removing 3 boxes your eyes have been tracking all week. And here's the mindset this builds. You will still have messy days. We all do. And anyone that tells you they don't is full of beans. And I think we all need to remind ourselves so deeply, especially this time of year, that you can determine your version of success. I don't know about you, but I am constantly irked, I guess would be a good word. We're bringing back irked. Why not? I am irked. I get irked, which I really don't love social media. I hop on Instagram. I try to post for y'all and I love chatting with you. I get overwhelmed by seeing all the perfect homes. But thank God, I am so firm and anchored into my good enough home philosophy that my home doesn't need to look like a Pottery Barn ad to serve me and support me and my family, right? It really doesn't. And I hope you know that deep down in your heart. You will have weeks when life runs faster than your systems, and this expected mess builds up, just like my client. It happens to me too. We talked about that a few weeks ago on the show. And actually, I think it's this week, my husband's episode, or it's this Wednesday. Today's a bonus episode. This Wednesday, do not miss this episode. My husband's in our interview together, he's like, our garage is a mess right now. It is in a big transition period with a new hobby the kids are doing. We have to restructure, reorganize, declutter a little bit, make space. And it's just that's the reality that no one talks about in this space. It's your version of success is a 24/7 tidy home. It's not true. And if you're a parent like me and your kids try new hobbies and try new sports, I feel like life is a transition period. And by the time you organize one thing, they're outgrown of it, or they need something else. So reminding yourself and bringing in more of that objectivity to it, and you get to determine that version, right? And if your version is even just telling yourself, okay, girl, this isn't clutter. This is not clutter. I am not bad at this. This is normal. And maybe for you, that leads to conversations with your family. Maybe it means to designing your environment to help them do what you want them to do in the first place. Or maybe it's just my home is good enough. This is normal. I do not stink at this. And when you build this 10-minute reset habit, your home never gets quite as loud. So a lot of you, if you've been with me for a long time, we talk about resets all the time. The more you declutter, the easier and faster your resets take. Keep that in mind. And the more consistent you are with resets, right? Because you have less to put back away each time, the faster they go. Your home won't get quite so loud. And when it does get loud, you do this. You do a 10-minute reset. When it does start to feel like a runaway train again, you're less likely to mentally spiral and stay in kind of paralysis analysis, right? Been there, done that, because you know exactly what to do. Number one, remind yourself, the truth, right? Not the truth you've been soaking up from Instagram or HGTV or wherever you're spending your time and comparing your home to someone else's, right? It's not to just simply get caught up, but to come back. So here's what I want you to do. Set your timer for 10 minutes. Start with that one visible zone. Could be a kitchen counter, an island, entryway drop zone, floor, or like my client, she started with her surface areas because that's where her eyes went when she came inside. And she's like, I don't want to be overwhelmed anymore. I just need to reset my space back to baseline so I can, at the same token, reset my mental space back to baseline. Don't necessarily choose where the biggest mess is. Choose based on what your eyes meet most often, where you're spending the most time. That can be helpful because that's really where the mental relief is hiding. So set that timer, reset, release what doesn't, add it to your donation station. Break down those cardboard boxes, condense gifts if you can, and just stop at the end of 10 minutes. If you feel like going longer, great. If not, progress, not perfection. And by the way, when your home feels too loud, too fast, too full, these little visual islands of calm you create through these resets, whether they're 3 minutes or 10, are going to help you every single time. One clear section of your counter is truly all it takes. I believe in that. And I know it after teaching this and living this. The more you practice it, the more your home becomes a place that supports you. And if you're listening, a lot of you have been with me for maybe you're new, maybe just a few weeks, maybe years, and you're thinking things like, all right, Katie, I know how to do this. I know to reset. I know how to declutter, but I can't seem to follow through. Or Katie, I've tried doing this so many times, but I keep getting stuck. Or I'm really capable in other areas. Maybe you're great at resets, but decluttering, you're just really struggling there. Or I don't want to sprint through decluttering again and keep doing these declutter marathons. I'm trying to do, I want calm that actually lasts and decluttering that fits into my life. You are not missing discipline. You're likely just missing the right kind of, number one, support, number two, rhythm, and number three, like a truly brain-friendly strategy that works for busy people. And that's exactly what we build inside my one-on-one and small coaching experience, which is called the Inner Circle. We don't just clear rooms, we uncover why clutter keeps coming back and build rhythms that stick even when life gets messy again. So applications, if you want to work with me, this is your one chance for the year. Applications open up in just a few weeks in mid-December. So what I want you to do, if you are curious what it would look like or interested in potentially working with me, applications open in just a few weeks, like I said, and wait listers for the Inner Circle get first access before spots go public. They go fast every year. I don't have very many because you get time with me and I need time for everyone. Inside, we'll create your personalized plan for your home based on your life and your goals. And we'll work side by side virtually, albeit, but it's still helpful, and remove the roadblocks that have been keeping you stuck. So if you've been craving a calmer home, a lighter mental load, and Coach Katie in your corner who knows how to get you there, this is your next step. And when you join the waitlist, you'll get early access when doors open. You get priority consideration for one of the few seats there are. And you'll be rest assured that through the holidays, come January 5th, when we start as a small group, you are in good hands to make massive declutter progress. And your lighter, calmer, it brings it gives me the heebie-jeebies, like goosebumps, in such a good way. It makes me tear up. Your lighter, calmer home in 2026 literally begins with one small step. So if you're interested, join the waitlist. I'll put that link in the show notes. And then I'll see you again for our normal episode this Wednesday, like I said, with Andrew. We're going to talk about what our home showed us during our recent mold crisis. 0 out of 10. Do not recommend mold in your house. But things happen. And we're not just going to talk about clutter. We're going to talk about that garage. We're going to talk about comfort loss, sentimentality, and what we hold on to when we're scared to let go. It is such a great episode. Oh my gosh. I hope all of you listen, you share it, and I hope you have a great rest of the next few days. I'll see you on Wednesday. Ready, Set, Simplify. Bye.